The challenges facing the DEC agencies here in Haiti are enormous. It's not just Port-au-Prince and its people which were affected. The government was decimated too. It lost buildings and key staff. Inevitably, that's had an impact on the recovery. That's one of the challenges, is to how can you fairly make sure that people have, a reasonable access to the different things they need, whether it's food or water or latrines. Altogether, 1.5 million people were made homeless in January. Bonjour, madame. This is Marassa Camp, home to 5,000. When they fled the earthquake, this was the only place they could find. It's an old garbage dump, so from very difficult circumstances they have started a new life, but it's a really tough struggle that confronts them. Just looking at the garbage being tipped down on the walls on the sides of the camp, and that's going on all the time, and it smells. I feel I should be doing the pumping. More than 3/4 of the people in Port-au-Prince lived in slums before the earthquake, and only half the population had access to latrines. So it's hard to believe, but for some, this is an improvement. At this little school, children learn songs and games to help them remember basic hygiene rules. And it's encouraging that although the rainy season has started, there haven't been outbreaks of disease in the camps. The city was already overcrowded before the earthquake, and one of the problems is that there is so little land where people can settle. This is Otameka Camp. There used to be shelters here, but the owner is reclaiming the land so he can park his vehicles. So a community already in very difficult circumstances have had to, as it were, up sticks, and that's really what they are, either to be pushed back here or to find somewhere else. Ici, à moi, c'est quand même un peu plus, c'est plus solide.
Oui, c'est très solide.
Here, people are living in stronger shelters, which are better at keeping out the wind and rain. And they're building new ones, as well as latrines and showers.
Et puis le nom de la personne.
This is a new identity card. It means that people who had lost all their papers now have some proof of existence, and they can use it when aid is given out in the camp. So Antoine, this is the shock for me. Here's a green, which means this building is safe, and yet look at all the destruction. Engineers are classifying all the buildings in the city. A green stamp means it's safe to live there, yellow means some work needs to be done, and red means the building is not safe and needs to be demolished or rebuilt. And it's just the haphazard, horrible nature of earthquakes. This has been, I think, the toughest visit, because I've visited with Antoine one family among the hundreds, literally the hundreds of thousands, over 200,000 killed, and I have heard firsthand the story of his 14-year-old who died right here. And he proudly told me that he had spent a lot of his money putting this floor down in her bedroom, and showed me his savings book, and he'd put all his money. He's worked as an interpreter for the American Army, he had a little business. Everything went into this house, and now there is nothing. And we've looked at his shack behind, helped by the owner of the factory next door, who's taken in some of the people who have lost family. Over 100 people died just in this little neighborhood. So it's been a sad afternoon. In 35 years of humanitarian work, I have never seen such a challenge confronting the survivors and their families and the DEC agencies who are trying to help them. It isn't just the huge scale of the needs, but it is also working in such a complex city that has lost so much of its heart and still is full of rubble.
Hey, madame!
But over the last few days, I've seen a relief effort that is really working and getting basic services to most of the people in the official camps and in some of the more spontaneous settlements. And we're just starting to get families into more secure accommodation. That means repairing the damaged houses so people can begin to go home. But people need to earn a living as well. I have seen some really imaginative schemes, little food shops for women trading on the street corners, cash for work, small grants. That's what they're asking for, and that's what we need to give them. You see, if we could repair that, then she could start working.
You see, she do
Yeah, no, it's great. So if that's the sort of thing people need to get started again. At the end of this day, it remains absolutely clear that we are only at the beginning of what will be a long and painful journey, but one that I know we are committed to travel.